Poppy AI is a smart workflow platform that makes building and managing processes simple and collaborative. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start with account setup, so you're ready to log in and access your workspace. From there, I'll give you an overview of the board tools, showing how they help you design and organize workflows efficiently. Next, we'll create a workflow board from scratch so you can see how to build and customize your own process from the ground up. And finally, we'll explore using templates, which is a faster way to launch pre-built workflow boards that you can adapt to your specific needs. Alright, so now to get started is that you want to go here into the website of Poppy so we can start setting up our account. And you can use the link in the description of this video so that you'd be able to get $25 off on any Poppy AI plan. Also, there will be a lot of templates here in Poppy, and if you use that link, you will be able to get access on all of them. Like, for example, related to script writing, ad creation, ad analysis, and much, much more. So now, once you're here, you can click here on Get Poppy AI on the top right. And then you will now be taken here into the sign up page. Here, you want to go for the contact information, provide your details like your name, email address, and then a phone number. Next, choose the pricing option. So you only have the yearly plan in here available. We don't offer monthly. And here on the first one, we have $3.99 per year, which is the Poppy AI, just the platform itself. And then we have the Poppy AI Plus VIP live dedicated support. So you could also go for this one, which is $7.99 per year if that's what you want. And then we have the one-time payment lifetime access. So you only have to pay once and then you'll have Poppy AI forever, which is $9.97. So depending on the choice that you want. So if you want to save as much as possible on the long run, then go for $9.97 right here. Or if you'd like dedicated support, go for second one. But if you don't really need any of this right here, then you can go for the first one right here. Any of this would be fine. And you could also notice that we have a coupon code in here and it's automatically pre-filled if you use the link in the description. If not, then you can just type it in manually right here, referral, and click here on this button so that you would be able to see that you will get $25 off right here. And make sure that the benefits of the link will be applied to your account so you can also get the templates later on. And also there is a bonus content right here, which is the Poppy AI VIP coaching call to produce viral content. So if you'd like this to be included, you can click here and yeah, you could go on to this kind of seminar that they offer right here. So yeah, and that's it. And basically once you're done, you can click here on continue. And of course, let's fill in the name first. So sample name and sample email at gmail.com, and that's it. And now you can click and continue. And basically, it will just need to get your payment information. And once you're done, you want to click here in a complete order. And then once the payment goes through, you have now successfully purchased a subscription here in Poppy and have now successfully set up your account. Alright, so now once you're done, is that you will now be prompted in here into the dashboard of your account. So in here, you can see all the boards that you have created here in Poppy, and you have your templates in here, just like what I said earlier. If you use the link, you can get access to this amazing template in here, which is especially helpful if you are a beginner. Even if you're advanced, this will still be useful as this will save you so much time and headache. So for now, before we use the templates, I'm going to show you the tools here. So we'll be starting from scratch so I can show you each one. So now, I'm going to click here on new board. And from here, we will now be redirected into our board, an empty board, because we're going to be starting from scratch. And here it is. So in here, the first thing that I would want you to do is to name your board. So here, you can name it on the top left. So for example, I'm going to go for a tutorial board. And then The next thing is that I'm going to discuss this menu in here. So I'm going to discuss each one so you know the function of each one, because this is very, very important for you to understand, as this would be your tools in creating your content in here on how you'd be able to import data, feed data into the AI. So let me show you what I mean. First is this one. So this is the AI chat. So basically, this is like the engine of our workflow. This is where we feed everything, and once it is compressed right here in this AI chat, then the AI would be able to understand and analyze everything that we feed the AI in here, and we can now use it here in our prompt. So basically, we'll be feeding some data. And in here, we have the social media content. So for this one right here, you can just paste your content link right here, maybe for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. For this example, I'll be using YouTube. So let's say that I'm going to get some reference content in here, so that this would be the content that I would feed the AI, so that AI knows that it should get some details from there. So let's say this one is 2.1 views, and this one is a short. It's also fine. You could also do a long form YouTube video. It's also fine, depending on what you want. So for example, I would want this one. Now I'm going to click here on the three dots and just simply click here on share, just to copy the link in here. And now we want to go back into Poppy, and when you paste it, just like this one, click on add to board, you will now be able to get that video and embed it right here in Poppy. And notice now that we have this line. This is what I mean by fitting it here into our Poppy chat, or basically the engine of our workflow. So by connecting this means that I am now feeding the data, which we will be getting, or the AI would be analyzing this and would get the data to incorporate it with our prompt that we will be making in here in the Poppy chat. All right, so now let's just go and place it here. And by the way, you can navigate just by dragging your cursor just like that and holding right there. And then you could also zoom in, zoom out right here with these buttons here on the bottom right, just so that you can navigate freely. And of course, your undo and redo button right here are also very important. Now, next tool is that we have the discover content. So you can find winning creators and YouTube videos in seconds. So basically, you can select the platform that you would want to discover content in. You can go for YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Let's say YouTube, and I'm gonna go for a vidIQ right here. These are some of the channel that might be relevant to my niche. So now I'm going to go here into vidIQ, and let's say we'll be talking about YouTube, and you just need to wait for it to finish loading the data regarding the channel that we are currently searching for right here, and why your videos get ignored, and many more right here. So you can choose the content that you would want to quickly add into your board. So for example, let's find some good videos in here, or outlier videos that vidIQ has. I think this one is pretty good, so I'm gonna click here. So select that, and then you can now click here on add one selected to board. Now it will be added just like this one right here, so that you don't have to leave vidIQ to get the video from YouTube. You can just do it here. So basically, it's the same thing as we have right here. And you get some more data in here actually with this one, so you can go and connect this also if you'd want. And you could also click here on quick add channel to board. So if you'd want to add a channel as a whole, you could also just click here without selecting any videos, and here it is. You will now be able to import it just like this one right here, and then you can now choose their latest videos, popular, and many more. And then you can add note here for what to use here by AI. For example, only use the latest videos as references right there. So that would be another note for AI to consider when making or creating your prompt in here. So that's basically the discover content. You can also do that into the other social media platforms in here. Next, we have Facebook ads. So in here, you can search and import ads to your workspace. So here, you can search via keyword, brand, or description. For example, I'm going to go for a shirt. So this is very useful if you're doing e-commerce on Facebook. And as you can see, we can now import these ads as data here in our board. For example, this one, I'm going to click here.
Fly low, go drift, we spin fast.
And then once it is selected, you can now click here on import on the top right. And then with that, it is now importing, and now we have it just like this one right here. And once again, you can connect it if you'd want, just like that. All right, so now next is that we're gonna go into the Loom video. So this is where Poppy will listen and analyze it to use for your own content. So you can click here, and then you can paste your Loom video link right here. So it's essentially just like the YouTube right here, but this one is Loom. So you could also do that with the Loom video right here if you do have that. And then the next one would be to upload files in media from your device storage. So you could do that right here. So click here on drop files, and it will now scan your device storage, and you can just choose the file that you'd want to upload, or you could go for the Dropbox or Google Drive, depending on how you'd want it. So that's the upload. And then we have the start recording. So basically, this would be for those people who like to say things out loud rather than typing it, so that you don't have to actually type your instructions here for the AI. You can just say it out loud. So you can click here on start recording, and as you can see, it is now asking for permission. So I'm going to click here on allow, and now it's currently recording, and it's recording my voice. So for example, it is like this one right here. So this is just an example, and now I'm gonna go and stop it right here, and it will now be uploading my audio in here into the board. And with this, we can again feed this into our Poppy chat, and it will now be added as a new data here for our AI to work on, and you can add notes once again. You can also click here on copy transcript if you'd want to. So let me just paste it. And as you can see, it is very accurate right here. And you can basically add this onto our next tool, which is the text tool. So if you don't like the audio one, then you can just go for the text. So if you'd like to just type things, then this is where you can type it. And then you could also add notes again for the AI. And yeah, you could also feed it into the our Poppy chat. That's it. And then next is that we have our annotation. So basically, this would be very useful for organizational purposes, because you can use this as labels. Like for example, this part right here, I'll be making this for blog content. And then you can make another Poppy chat right here, and right there. And now for this one right here, I will be using this for thumbnails. So what we could do is that we could annotate this so that we can label things, and so that we will not be confused on what each one is. So this is very useful for organizational purposes. So let's say thumbnails, just like that. And now we have some labels in here, and you can label everything in here as much as you want. But basically, that's the thought of annotation here. Next is that we have the website. So very similar to what we did here with the YouTube one. You can just paste the URL. You can click on add website, and then you can add notes into it right here. So for example, google.com, and you can click on add website, and just wait for it to load. Once it's done processing, then it will now detect the site. As you can see, there will be now a preview, and you can add notes for AI to use regarding the site on how you would want the AI to use the data in here. And next, we have the mind map. So here, you can create your own mind map very easily. Like for example, I'm gonna go for, let's say I'm gonna go for the flow of my tutorial video. So first is I would want to go for the introduction right there. And then to create another one right here is that you can go right or go down. You can see that right here. So I'm going to click here on go right, for example. And now we have this right here. So now I'm gonna go for let's say account setup right there. And now it has created another one right here at the bottom because I pressed enter, which is the shortcut for go down. So now I'm going to delete this by selecting it and pressing backspace. And in here, I'm going to continue with the account setup in here. I would want another step in here after this. So I'm going to click here on go right or press the tab key on my keyboard. So in here, I'm going to go for, let's say, subscription plans right there. And then in here is that I'm going to go and save that. So there it is. And then you could add another one right here if you'd want to. So you can press tab again, or you could press go down and so on. So you can map things out just like that, depending on how you would want to structure your mind map. So that's basically how you can use that in here. So essentially, this would be very useful if you have a structure on how you would want your content to be built. So you could feed it here into our PapiChat once again. So you could use this for structures in here as a guide for the AI to consider when creating your content. So that's it. And then we have the group. So this is one of the most useful tools here. So essentially, it's a very simple feature. First, we can name our group. So we can just zoom in for a bit. And then from here, you do not double click. And then you can rename this. Like for example, this is sample contents right here. And now I'm going to drag the elements here into this group. So for example, I can drag this one right here. So now I can group or insert this in the group. And as you can see, the connector or the node will now be gone for this specific element because it is now inside a group. And also this one right here, you can see the line will be gone right there when you place it in the group, and you can expand it as much as you want. And then you could also insert this long story, so you could also place it here, and just like that you can also group other things right here, like also text. You could also insert it right here if you'd want. So yeah, that's how you can use a group. We'll be using this later on. And now with this, you now know how you can use each one of these tools in here, what they are. So now let's proceed into making our actual content. All right, so now I have cleared the board, and now I'm gonna demonstrate an actual workflow in here that I do to create content. So for this one, I'm gonna start with an AI chat. So get our engine right here, and then I'm gonna label this. So I'm gonna go for annotation. So right here, I'm going to click on that and then put the label in here. And let's say that I would want to create a content. This is for content about how to grow your YouTube channel fast. So basically, this would be my video title in here, and I will be creating a script for my video in here. So next is that I'm going to go for a group in here, and I would want to name this my content right there. And basically I would feed this into the engine so that the AI would know how I do my content, and I'm hoping that it would extract the tone in that content and apply it into the script that it's going to make, so that the script that will be the result will feel like I'm the one that I was the one that made it, because it is based from the tone of my content. So that's what I'm hoping for. And now let me just get my content here quickly in the YouTube channel. And now I have this one. So I'm going to go click here and share, copy. And then once again, you can go for the social media content, paste it, add to board, and then drag it here onto the group. And then next, we also have this one right here. So I'm going to go for this one, and then copy that, do the same thing. So basically just as simple as that. So that is why it is very important that you know how you can use these tools. And now one last content to import into our board. So I'm going to use this one. And once again, you could also just paste it in here. Actually, you don't need to click here and paste it here. You can just paste it without clicking here. So for example, I'm going to press Ctrl+V and there it is. It's as simple as this actually. So that is also another way for you to save time and effort in doing so. However, this is still useful if you'd want to add content into other channels, or I mean into other social media platforms in here, just so that you can see on where you can add your contents from. So that's it. And now let me just go and resize this just like that. I think that's enough. And now I'm going to create another group. And from here, I'm going to go for viral examples. So this would be my references for the YouTube videos that is doing quite well on this specific title. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna go for how to grow your YouTube channel fast. So this would basically be my competitors, and I'm gonna go and choose my biggest competitors in here, and basically let AI absorb the data from this viral proven videos that is working well in this specific title. So I'm just gonna paste it right here and put it in here. So that's it. And then we can go for more. This one is 3.5 M. Even though it's short, it's still gonna work. So I'm gonna click here and copy again, paste this, and import it into a group. Just like that. And now I'm just gonna add 4 of them, and I'm gonna choose 2 more. I think this 2 right here would be good. So now I'm gonna click here on copy, go back, paste, and then add it into group. As simple as that, so that you don't have to do this manually. So this is a really powerful tool so that you could also utilize the competitors that are doing well and get the best of them. So in here, don't forget to connect this into the Poppy chat. So that's it. I think I'm just gonna rename this right here viral. Yeah, I think viral examples would be enough. Next is that I'm gonna add another group in here, and I'm gonna name this structure. So this is how I would want to structure the script in here. So now I'm gonna going back into YouTube again and basically get another content. So this time I'm gonna search how to structure your educational, or maybe just your YouTube video right here. And then you will now be able to see some great videos right here that explains well on how you should script your YouTube video. So for example, we have this one at 743k views. So that is actually pretty good. So I'm going to click here on share and click on copy and add it in here again. So there it is, just like that. And then add some more. So I'm going to add 3 of them. And this one right here at 1.5 M, that's pretty good. So I'm going to click here on copy, and then there it is. And one last thing. And let's see. This one right here from Think Media. I think this one is pretty good. So I'm going to click here on share and click on copy and then paste it right here. So now I have my structure references in here. I'm all good to go for this one right here. Now, you can add more groups right here if you have some more ideas in mind on what you could feed the AI to make your result more to your liking. But I think for this example, in my case, this one is enough. So now I'm going to go here into the AI or Poppy AI chat. Now in here, you could also double check if your group is working and is being understood by the AI right here. So for example, you can go for tell me what the my content group is about. And then you can click here and send, and then you can just wait for the AI to finish processing your request. So based on the knowledge base, my contents group contains 3 tutorial videos all focused on reviewing and walking through AI-powered marketing and content creation platforms. So that is actually pretty good. So it means it really understood the content in here on what the video is about that is included here in this group. So that's a pretty good sign. Now I'm just gonna go and expand the Poppy chat right here so that I could see more at once. So right here, and I'm just gonna do it like this. So that's it. So that's great. And now is that I'm gonna go and place it here in the center. So next is that we're now gonna go and make our prompt to generate our content by using the database that we have created right here. And I'm gonna go click here into ask anything and build up my prompt. So I'm gonna go for create me a 10 to 15 minutes script for my YouTube video about how people can grow their channels fast. And in here is that you can now specify on how you would want to use the groups in here, or how you would want the AI to use the data on this group. So for example, this one is my content. So I'm gonna go and make another line in here, and I'm gonna say use my contents group as my brand or voice, or let's say, yeah, brand, voice, and tone. And then next one is that we have the viral examples. So now I'm gonna go for use viral examples group for angles, let's say details and important infos right there. And then next I'm gonna go for another one right here, and now I'm gonna go for the structure. So how should the AI use the structure? So I'm gonna say use structure group in building or structuring. Actually, I'm just gonna use the structure word, structure, in structuring the script, just like that. So it's that simple. You can add more if you'd want, if there are some other instructions that you have in mind that you would want the AI to follow. As for me, this one is enough. And next is that we also have this buttons in here. So we have this one, so we can go for Claude, which is the best model as of now, but this would also cost you more credits. And you have GPT 5.4, Nano Banana 2, so they are all the latest one. If you'd want to view more, you can go for more models, and then you have more right here. And if you're on a budget, I suggest going for GPT-5 Mini, as this would cost the less credits. The least credits actually. So I'm gonna click here, and I'm just gonna go for GPT-5 Mini. I think that's enough for just creating a script. Next is that we have this one right here. So the thinking. So you can go for instant, low, medium, or high. So the higher it is means that the AI would spend more time into analyzing the datas in here, so that would actually lead to better results. So if you don't mind waiting for more, then you can go for high in here so that you can get more quality. So this is what I have experienced, and I really like the high right here because it doesn't really take that much time unless you have a lot of data or groups to work on in here. So that's it. I'm gonna go for high. And then here you could enable search if you would want the AI to search the web, but I don't think that's necessary. With my data in here, there's nothing to search because everything is already right here. And that's it. And once you're done, you can now click here on send. All right, it has now built our script, and as you can see, you'd now be able to see that being built in real time. And here it is. It is now done, and it's quite long because we have requested a 10 to 15 minute script, and you could also see the timestamp in here, so you could see on how long it should last. So this one is 15 minutes, as you can see here at the end. And now you can review the script or the content that was generated for you by the AI and see if there's anything you'd want to change. And if there is, then you can just simply type it in here on what you would want to be changed, and it will now make the changes or edits that would be needed. So as for this one, I'm satisfied with it, so I'm not going to change anything. Instead, all I'm going to do is ask for a title. So I'm going to say give or suggest some titles for that script. There it is, and we just need to wait for it for a bit. And now here are the results for the titles for this script. So you could also click here on create script actually, but we don't need this anymore because we have created our script first. So that's it. And also notice here in the prompts that was created in here, by clicking here on the create script button, it has also instructed right here, create a final video script, thumbnail videos, 1-page checklist for grow your YouTube channel fast, and then also some instructions on how the AI would use the groups here that we have with like my contents, for like examples for angles, and the structure right here. So you could also use this if you'd want to create another script, then you can feel free to click here on the create script button, and then you should have one from here. So that's it. All right, so now we have our title and we also have our script in here already. Next is that we could also create thumbnails here in the chat. So we have already provided our video right here, so the AI could actually extract the thumbnails from that, and also the viral examples in here and the structure. So in here, we just have to ask it to create thumbnails for us. So in here is that I'm gonna go here into ask anything, and then you want to click here on create image. You want to make sure you click here so that it will now create an image or a thumbnail. And in here you can see that it has now detected the images from the video that we have linked into this chat. So you just want to make sure that you have the correct thumbnails included. So I don't want to include the structure thumbnails in here because this is not appropriate for the topic of my video. So I'm just going to exclude that and find it right here. So I'm going to click here on the X button right here, just like that. And now I'm going to go for create image for me as my thumbnail for my YouTube video. And I'm just going to pick one of these titles in here. So let's see. I'm going to go for this one. Grow your YouTube channel fast, right here. The title is right there, and use the character on the my contents group, and then I would want to use the thumbnail style on the viral examples group, just like that. And now once you are ready is that you can now click here to select the AI model that you'll be using. You can go for Claude, GPT, Nano Banana 4, and many more right here. So for this one, I'm just going to go for Nano Banana Pro. And now I'm going to click here on send, and it will now process my request. So let's just wait for that. So now it is done. You can see that we now have the result right here. So it's connected and it actually used my character and then the style of our reference. So to compare this, I'm just going to drag it here so that you could compare it better. And see, it used this character with this style of our examples in here. So that's basically it. This is very powerful. This is such a good thumbnail. So that's basically how you can generate your thumbnail here, your script, and even the title here using the Poppy AI chat. So basically that's how you can do it here with Poppy AI. Now you could also use this for other things, basically the same concept in here. For example, if you're going to make a blog, you could also do it like this. You can go for your content and then some viral example or good example, competitor example of a blog that you're trying to make. And then the structure, you could do it like this. But instead of YouTube videos, you can go for sites or the blog itself. You can also group them in here. So that's basically it on how you can start from scratch. Now you know how you would be able to use these tools and actually create some content in here using the Poppy chat right here. So now let's go back into our Poppy dashboard by clicking here on the top left, and you should be able to see that being saved already automatically here under your boards. Now let's try the template that I was talking about earlier. So now we're going to click here on templates, and this is where you'd be able to see the templates here in Poppy that was made by other people for you to duplicate and use as a guide so that you don't have to start from scratch. So if you have a template right here, if you see a template that is exactly what you are trying to do, then you can just use that right here so that you'd be able to save time. So in here, you could see, for example, this one, create viral YT titles and scripts, just like what we did earlier. So you could use something like this, or you could also use some other more templates in here. So let's just try that. Right here, create viral YT titles and scripts. Right here, I'm going to click that on the template. And now it's going to open that template right here with the board. And most of the templates in here are structured this way. Like first step, it was labeled with or annotated right here. And this is just a preview. So you wouldn't be able to do your edits here yet. So you'd have to click here on use template on the top right. And when you click on that, it will now start to create a new board, and you'd be able to edit it just like your own. Here it is. All right. So first, step one, my voice plus content. So here, the text. So the goal to teach Poppy your unique voice, tone, and style. So this is basically just a note for you that was created by the creator of this template. As you can see, it's not connected to the Poppy chat, so it's just simply a note for you, and that's basically it. So it tells you what the goal is and what to do. So paste any content you have from YT, IG, or TikTok where it's been you talking. So you want to paste that right here. Basically the same thing that we did earlier. My business. So you want to give Poppy everything it needs to know about your business, any docs or text on your business, and add inspiration. So basically like references or viral examples that we did earlier, and new video idea, and more. So here, last step is to copy this into Poppy chat. So basically just like a template for the prompt that you would be pasting on Poppy chat. So you could go for give me 10 viral titles for my YT channel. And for the script, you can do it like this. So write me a script for this title and so on. So basically the first thing that you'd want to do is to use the viral YT title so that you can move on with the script. And then you have the YouTube content frameworks. So I think for this one right here, you don't have to make some edits in this. So yeah, that is basically how templates work in here. You just have to insert your data here now so that you can make your own unique result here in Poppy chat with all these databases, and easily, because it is a template, so you don't have to start from scratch. And yeah, this is basically it on how you could do this with Poppy, either from scratch or from template. Now you know how you can do that easily in here. And now one last thing that I would wanted to talk about is how you can stay organized here with your dashboard is by simply going here into the left section, and then you can see folders. You would want to add one. And from here, let's say YouTube right here. So I would want to add all my YouTube boards here into my YouTube folder. So in that way, we can stay organized and basically locate our boards easily, because it is very organized in here. You want to move it into a folder. So in this one, I'm going to move it into my YouTube folder. Also for this one right here. So you could do the same thing for your other folders, or maybe for your other boards. So yeah, that is basically it. And don't forget that you could use the link in the description if you'd like to try Poppy AI out, so that you can get a discount and also gain access to templates. So that is basically it for this video. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.